In the silent corners of the palace, truth is spoken not aloud, but in whispers behind screens, behind fans, and behind death. Malmo was summoned to the inner court, a place where silence held more weight than authority. There, the Empress Dowager sat, her wrinkled face obscured by a painted screen. Only her eyes, dark and fathomless, were visible above it. Her voice, though soft, was laced with command. "You've made quite the noise, little mouse," the old woman murmured. "Tell me, why haven't you died yet?" Malmo bowed low. "Because I know how to listen," she whispered, "and how to make silence deadly." The Empress Dowager chuckled, a dry, cracked sound like autumn leaves underfoot. "You remind me of a girl I once knew. Long dead now, thanks to her curiosity." The screen rattled slightly, a warning, a memory, a threat. Mama rose unfazed. Curiosity killed her, but it seemed she lived a life worth living. Unlike some people I know, hiding behind a screen, afraid of what they might see. She turned to leave, then paused. "You won't find what you seek in this place, old woman. If you want answers, you'll have to ask the ghosts yourself." With that, she left the Empress spluttering behind her screen, too stunned to speak. For once, silence wasn't golden. It was raw unsettling. As Malma walked back to her quarters, a sense of foreboding settled upon her. The night was heavy with secrets, the kind that clung to the palace walls and whispered through the corridors. Something was amiss. She could feel it in the pit of her stomach. Reaching her door, she found it slightly ajar. A small breeze ruffled the curtains inside, and the scent of lilac hung heavy in the air, a fragrance she didn't recognize. Her heart pounded against her ribs as she pushed the door open and stepped inside. Everything was different. Her bed curtains were drawn, but not in their usual fashion. They were pulled tight, making the room darker than it should have been at this hour. The table was bare except for a single white flower, its petals unfurling like fingers reaching for the light. And then there was the dust. Or rather, the lack of it. Usually, even the corners of her room were coated in a fine layer of dust. But now everything was spotlessly clean. Even the normally dusty windowsills gleamed as if polished recently. Her embroidered chest sat untouched, but the wardrobe door was open, revealing clothes strewn across the floor, some torn, others crumpled. Her precious books lay open, their pages scattered around her writing desk. The ink was smeared, the words a cryptic mess. Someone had ransacked her room, but they hadn't found what they were looking for. Relief washed over her, but it was laced with unease. Who would want to spy on her? And why? She checked under the bed, behind the screen. And even in the fake wall panels she used as a hiding place for extra fabric and ribbon, nothing, whatever they sought, was not here. A folded piece of paper fluttered to the ground. Picking it up, Malmo found a single word written in elegant script. "Talk." Her heart skipped a beat. Was this a message from Li Gong? She pondered for a moment. It could be a trap. But if it was, she'd rather spring it on her own terms. Grasping the letter, she moved into the shadows, leaving the safety of her room and venturing into the moonlit corridor. Her steps echoed in the vast emptiness, each footstep taking her closer to the unknown. In a secluded spot, veiled in darkness, Mama found him waiting, a silhouette against the pale moonlight. His face, half hidden in the shadows, was a study in contrast, handsome and cruel, his features sharp as shards of glass. Only half of it bore the marks of humanity, the other half a horrifying canvas of burned scars. A single white plum blossom dangled from his lips. He offered her a wry smile, a flash of teeth against the darkness. "So you got my message," he rasped, his voice like gravel on stone. "You're not afraid of me?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "You shouldn't be," he replied, his tone flat. "I'm not here to hurt you, little apothecary girl, not yet anyway." He took a step closer, his eyes boring into hers. "You're poking into the flower garden," he continued, digging deeper and deeper. "Dig deeper and you'll find roots soaked in blood." She stared back at him, her expression unreadable. "Then I'll bring scissors."